Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my singles and tag team competitors. This is your Friday night Smackdown, Throwdown, Hoedown, Beat It Down, Bring It All Around Town. I am your freaky host, the freaky one, the freaky booker of the year, and the freaky host of the year, Fritos, with the man, the myth, the legend. Without him, we wouldn't have this podcast. So acknowledge him. He is your producer, Virgil.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? How's it going out there? Singles and tag team competitors. Excited to be here on a Friday night hanging out with my man Fritos, man. Excited to be here with you, brother.
I'm excited to be here because guess what?
What?
This is the Friday night before the Royal Rumble in Indianapolis. I had to pay attention because, as your world heavyweight champion, not that crappy WWE champion ring I have right there, I have to know who I'm going against to defend my title at WrestleMania. It's hard to defend my title against you for Booker of the Year, but
Well, I mean, like I said, some of us, gotta get this big, beautiful, all gold, everything, undisputed WWE championship that's gonna be hanging on from like this. For tomorrow, and two men are going to fight for an opportunity to reach up on a ladder and grab the ultimate prize in WWE, the WWE Championship.
Well, speaking of talking about that title hanging up, that's how our show started, with a surprise with Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. Oh, I could feel Corey Graves angrily throwing his phone against the wall from his home. I'm sorry, I had to do that, Corey. Please do not hate the podcast. Introducing Joe Tessitore as Kevin Owens comes in there and getting a little frustrated with Joe's interview and snagging the winged title off the what do you call it? The hanging hook.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, well.
We are being invaded from your host on Wednesday Night All Elite Recap, Big Daddy. Not there. See, there it is.
There you go. There he is.
What's going on, fellas?
He is Rumble ready, folks. Rumble ready.
Are we invited to go? Oh, sorry, that's War Games. I apologize.
War Games, Mania, all of that stuff. He probably wouldn't invite us to any of it. He'd show up in Chicago and be there. If a WrestleMania ever came to Chicago, he'd show up and wouldn't even invite us. Hey, man, I didn't know y'all wanted to go.
Take a picture front row next to green shirt guy. Hey guys.
Yep.
Gotta have the money for WrestleMania. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's for sure. $7,000 easily.
Well,
what's crazy? It was probably cheaper than that for WrestleMania 22 when they came.
Most definitely. Like the top tickets were like $500 probably for Mania 22. Floor seats you could probably get for $22. I mean for $500. Sorry, Fritos. This is your show. We're taking it over. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay, but speaking of Mania, I believe they announced that it's going to be in Indianapolis 2027, or they're working on it. So keep an eye out for all you Central Midwesterners there. You might see your wee Booker boys there.
Definitely. I think so.
But as Virgil was talking about that ugly title behind him was being hanged, Kevin Owens, but taking the double eagle championship, he got interrupted by one CN Punk, which threw me off. But then, cutting a little promo saying how he's, main evented Mania twice, but it's also called out Kevin for his failures, losing 5 championships and everything else, as Kevin just being flustered, just leaving the ring. I thought it was a great way to start the show, even though the stipulation was Kevin to leave the title hanging, but, a typical heel, they're not going to listen. Your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, so for me, I think this was a great foreshadowing moment. The one thing we've noticed that is happening with the way that Triple H books is that he's very big with foreshadowing. So later on down the road, you may see CM Punk versus Kevin Owens for the WWE Championship once CM Punk wins that title. And like I said, I don't think it would be a bad thing for that to happen. But the crowd reaction. I think one thing that we have to appreciate about the way wrestling is now is the fact that it's all about the crowd. Like if the crowd reaction is on point, then I mean, like I said, you just know that you'll end up seeing this match here before long, and that's definitely what we ended up seeing tonight. It was really great, really magic moment. Crowd popping, saying, "Holy shit," and these two going back and forth, trading barbs. CM Punk getting the better of Kevin Owens, but still, like I said, it was a great time.
Yeah, I thought it was a great segment. Definitely adds yet another layer to what we've already, a layer to like this crazy storyline with them and Cody Rhodes, especially with this Rumble coming up tomorrow. So it's like you don't know what to expect in terms of storyline like coming up, because it's like just when you think, oh yeah, something seems certain, like they throw another wrench, like another layer into it. So I think either be a one-on-one between the two, between Punk and KO, or Punk and Cody. Hell, it might be a triple threat. Who knows? But for me, I think there's one wrinkle that you like can't rule out. There's the possibility of Randy Orton returning to cost Cody the championship tomorrow. I think that might be a possibility. So we'll see.
Cost Cody? I think he'd help Cody so he could take the title from Cody.
I don't know, man. I feel like with this, knowing Randy Orton and knowing how you just never know what to expect. Never trust a Viper. I feel like, especially after having that crazy injury, getting like power drive by Kevin Owens, I feel like it's one of them situations where an injury like that can kind of scramble your mind, and knowing Orton, he had all the voices in his head, so he was a good guy at first, but now considering what happened, he could probably have this whole change in mindset of maybe Kevin was right. Cody, turns his back on his friends, and that's especially with the whole bloodline situation. So I think that might be what we've been wanting to see with Randy Orton and Cody. I feel like that's probably what we more likely gonna get. But like I said, you never know what's gonna happen at this point. So
fair enough. Now this leads us to our first match of the night. Jimmy Uso, a.k.a. Big Jim, versus Carmelo Hayes, which we got to talk about this portion. When Jimmy was coming out doing almost like Jay, instead of going through the crowd, he's coming through the back, going through Gorilla. He was cutting a little promo. There was a mystery figure back there. It was Shinsuke Nakamura just standing behind there creepily, just staring down Jimmy. So, as Virgil has mentioned, Triple H is big on foreshadowing booking. Who knows? Maybe Jimmy and Shinsuke for the U.S. title, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Damn technology. That never works when you want it to. Here we go. This match was a continuation from last week's attack where Carmelo was talking shit to Jimmy, and with his match from last week, snuck attacking him when he was coming out. Let's see. Carmelo came out flying from the gates. Then Jimmy, eventually took control. It was a really intense match between these two, but eventually Jimmy countered and took the win. Like I said, I thought it was a really good match. It's building up Carmelo for the future he is, and it's also building up a good singles run for Jimmy since they split him and Jay up. And with the whole bloodline situation, you might as well build him up for your next mid-card title. Your guys' thoughts?
Losing is good. Losing helps. Sting said that once, and I full on buy into it. The more you lose, the better off you'll be, because once you finally begin to win, and fans finally understand your character, and until they get you, and it finally clicks, then I think there's no stopping you. I think Carmelo Hayes has a lot of potential, but Carmelo Hayes has not realized his potential on that main roster yet. He was the man on NXT, but he also kind of was forced down our throats a little bit in NXT. But here, like I said, he's starting way down at the bottom. He's not coming in here being Crown Prince like Braun Breaker, and automatically winning the title 2 months in. He's going to work for every single thing he gets. He is on the main roster, also an undersized wrestler, also. So I mean, again, whatever he gets, he's going to have to earn. As far as Big Jim, a U.S. championship win, something short, something sweet. I don't oppose it.
Yeah, I agree. I think like is pretty much no no guy loses in this situation. I feel like um, there's levels to this. You got to work your way up, to the top. So I think with Melo, um, I think he's not there yet. I think he will get there eventually. Jimmy, I think now I feel like for him, he still has a lot to prove in terms of like, can he do it on his own? Like, to the extent that Jay has. We've seen what Jay's been able to do so far as a singles competitor. So we'll see what happens with Jimmy if he's can live up to that. It's almost like with the whole Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy situation. You know, Jeff, you know, was able to like be a world champion, you know, 3 times over, while Matt had to settle for like mid card titles and the ECW championship, which is technically another mid card title. And so, but yeah, I think with this situation, I think Jimmy can be a good mid card champion down the line. So we'll see what happens with these two guys as the year progresses.
I agree. And speaking of titles, our next match of the night was your United States Women Championship with Chelsea Green versus Michin. Uh, honestly, I hate to say that this was my piss break. It just a lot of roll ups, and the match ended with a DQ where Chelsea Green took Michin's kendo stick and hit her, and they just really not that great of a match. Last week they teased and potentially bring in someone else, so I thought maybe there'd be a disqualification from someone new joining in with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. So I was a little bit disappointed. So this one, piss break, gentlemen.
Yeah. Same. Like I said, I mean, not too much to add to this. I kind of foresaw the outcome. So, like I said, I mean, it was a piss break match though.
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Piss break, all right. But you know what wasn't a piss break? Was your promo from Damian Priest, who transferred last week onto Friday Night SmackDown, cutting a promo, then interrupted by the Bloodline with Jacob Fatu basically saying we're cut from the same cloth. The only difference is I was locked up, then them going at it. I believe it was Tonga who LA Knight came out, grabbed a chair to help assist with Damian Priest, and was going to use the chair on Jake Fatu and dented the chair with his fist, which is pretty nuts considering everything. But that leading up to your main event match for the night, LA Knight and Damian Priest versus the new Bloodline or the Tribal Blood, however you want to call it right now. Then going into it, it leads you into a 8-man tag team match, DIY and Pretty Deadly versus Motor City Machine Gun and Los Garzas. Oh, Jesus, this is a long notes here. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, your 8-man tag team match. You've got Motor City Machine Guns, who are your faces, and teaming up with a Hill. At about almost end of the match, Los Garzas was done with it and left, leaving a numbers game between Motor City Machine Guns and Pretty Deadly and DIY. At one point, Ciampa accidentally hit. Who was it? I can't think of the blonde feller's name for Pretty Deadly. You guys remember?
No, and it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Basically hit him, and the other member of Pretty Deadly was just fed up, and Motor Machine Gun won your match. Building up a little bit more heat till tomorrow's match between 2 or 3 falls for Royal Rumble. Decent tag team match. Nothing really to write on too much, but I'll talk a little bit more about the Pretty Deadly stuff later on. Your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this match again was a way to build up, obviously for the 2 out of 3 falls match for tomorrow. But I suspect I'll be eating during majority of that match tomorrow while we're here in my basement. I won't be paying too much attention to it. I mean, like I said, Motor City Machine Guns are going to put on a heck of a match. DIY is who they are. Like I said, I like to see them, rather see them fighting each other than fighting together. But I can't always get what I want. Also, Pretty Deadly is Lewis Howley and Elton Prince.
That's correct.
Oh wait, no. Elton Prince and Kit Wilson are their names.
Apologize, gentlemen, if you do watch the podcast. Please forgive me. I love you. Any thoughts,
Yes,
C?
on the match. No, I was too busy trying to see what was going on. It was a weird sound. I thought it was on my end with my mic, but nah, I don't really care for Pretty Deadly, honestly. So yeah, no
Gotcha.
thoughts for me.
Then this leads up to our next women's match of the night, Naomi versus Liv Morgan, which I don't know if Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are switching over to the Friday Night Smackdown during the transfer portal or what, but I know they're definitely competing for the Women's Tag Team Championship, but tonight it was just a singles match. Let's see, Naomi had a lot of the power advantage throughout the whole match, but eventually Naomi took the win, but at the very end, Raquel came out from behind and Liv and Raquel attacked Bianca and Naomi. It's definitely building a build up in their feud. Hopefully, this leads into an answer eventually to who took out Jade. That's still a mystery. I mean, hopefully, it gets answered some point soon. I doubt it's going to be Rumble. If not, they're going to build it up for a Mania moment. But your guys' thoughts on the match and maybe the potential of this leading to the answer who took out Jade Cargill?
There's been a lot of time that's passed between the who took out Jade Cargill thing, and wrestling fans are, to quote a famous wrestler, former AEW and WWE champion, wrestling fans are fickle. So again, it's almost getting to the point where we won't care about who took out Jade Cargill because the crap happened last year, man. And you extended it out all the way to the Rumble just to try to build it into a WrestleMania story. So there better be some layers to this. It better be a new heel faction coming out of this. Somebody has to do something that makes me care again. Because right now I could care less. I know we're going to see Jade Cargill in the Rumble tomorrow. I full on expect that. Great. But who took her out? I mean, I don't care. Is it Charlotte? Is it Bayley? Is it Naomi? Is it Bianca herself? Who knows? We'll just have to see. But I don't really care about that. And personally, I really didn't care about this match either. A lot of this stuff that we watched tonight was go home filler stuff, guys. Like I said, it wasn't the greatest of content. It was just build up. All the big action will happen tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree. I ain't got much to add to that. He basically said everything I was thinking of, honestly. Like, let's
Glad you're on the
find
same
out.
page. See,
Look, because I'm kind of over the whole Jade thing too. Because they, bro, why does it take this long to figure out how who attacked who, man? I feel like every time they do this type of storyline, we gotta wait forever to find out who attacked who. Actually, they did it with Trick and Mello on NXT.
yeah, they drew it out really long.
We knew who attacked who. And then the whole thing with Triple H and Shawn Michaels when he bashed his head in the car window, we had to wait for that too. Why do they have to drag this out super long? Pause. Why do they got to drag this out? And when it's clear that who attacked who, we come on now, And so now, granted, they could shock us. Because it's there's more superstars in play with here. It could be Naomi, could be Bianca, Charlotte, who knows? But I'm just ready for it to be over so we can actually get this rivalry going. I don't know about the faction though. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. Now, if they did do a faction, I could see Jade. It could be Jade and Lash Legend and the other chick from NXT. That could be a faction.
Jakara.
Yeah, Jakara. Yeah. So if they did do a faction, that could be those three would be the ones I can think of. But yeah, I don't know if it's gonna happen. We'll see.
I don't like that idea. It'd be a female's version of the Pride almost. Have Jade be the version of Bobby Lashley.
No, why did you have to bring up the circle of life, man? Why did you have to bring them up, man?
Sorry.
Come on, man.
Hilarious, the circle of life.
Yeah, I'm over the whole who took out Jade thing too much. So let's get this thing done so we can head into Mania.
Well, speaking of fickle fans, this next match kind of plays into another faction that we're all kind of a little bit fickle about, wondering where they're at. It's The Miz versus Andrade. Last week, The Miz was trying to recruit people because the Wyatt Six got transferred to SmackDown. Same thing with The The Miz was talking to Nick Aldis today, he was talking shit about Andrade, and of course, like almost like a movie, Andrade was behind him, leading into your match of the night. It was a predictable match. Andrade won, which kind of leads me to this next point. Where is the Wyatt Six? We haven't seen them in 2 months almost? I believe 1 or 2 of the members are injured right now, but they could still do something with a few of the other members that aren't injured. So I was hoping maybe just a little tease, something, to remind fans they are on SmackDown other than The Miz saying they're here. Your guys' thoughts?
Agreed. Do something with them, but that's okay.
Yeah, I did hear something about one of the 2 members of the group being hurt. I didn't really see who it was. I didn't see a name. But I think for right now, like they got to figure something out with like what they want to do long term with this group. Like, are they going to be a dominant faction down the line, or what's really going to happen? So only time will tell. In terms of The Miz, I think it's just sad, man. Like he's a punching bag at this point in his career.
We're talking about he's got a great career. He keeps telling everyone about that.
I think go ahead.
It's time for The Miz to give back, though. If we're being completely honest with ourselves, it's time for Miz to give back. Miz is a 2-time, he's a 2-time Triple Crown winner. Like I said, and he has been given way more accolades than a lot of other superstars, and he's basically held every single title possible in WWE outside of maybe like the Speed Championship or something like that. He's main evented WrestleMania. He's done a lot of different other things. Like I said, so I mean, I don't feel bad for The Miz right now being an enhancement talent. I think it's time for him to put some other teams over, some other people over, and do his part to give back. I don't see a problem with that.
Me neither. Speaking about that, giving to other people, we had then a little quick interview with Michael Cole with Tiffany Stratton. Out of nowhere, Candice LeRae interrupted. The Nia Jax attacked. Even though during that, Nia splashed and Candice in the corner, then just basically took advantage of Tiffany. Who knows? Maybe Nia's going to win the Women's Rumble and go after Tiffany Stratton. There is that. Do they not have a rematch clause for the Money in the Bank? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Don't speak that negativity into existence, Frito.
That's not negativity. That's positivity.
No, don't. I don't want to see this woman win no Rumble. No.
Who?
Don't talk like
that. Nia Jax ain't gonna win the Royal Rumble. We ain't gotta worry about that.
Fair enough. She's leading to your main event of the night: LA Knight versus Damian Priest and Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu. We had a little backstage segment going into the match, which this is the part I want to talk about. We have Damian Priest and LA Knight, and then we had a brief interruption from R-Truth being confused, thinking it was Monday Night Raw. So I don't know if this is their way of saying he's been transferred over or what the deal is, but that man is comedic gold. Oh, by the way, Triple H, a.k.a. Ciampa, congrats on being not the first nominee for the WWE Hall of Fame. We boys, congratulate you. But during this segment here, there's another shadowy figure that I mentioned earlier, Shinsuke Nakamura, in the far back, walking back and forth, staring. I don't know if he's staring at LA Knight or Damian Priest. So you got 2 more potential foreshadowing for who's going to compete for the U.S. men's title again. But going into your match, fairly good match. I thought extremely well. Damian Priest got the pin on Tonga. So you're keeping the heat on Priest and you're not making Jacob Fatu look weak. But at the very end, Fatu attacked Priest and, still building that heat for his solo run. You guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's gonna take some time. Again, I think Damian Priest, once again, it's really crazy because it feels like he's having to reinvent himself all over again for like the fourth time. I mean, there was the Damian Priest, the that was the vampire in NXT, or the demon or whatever he was in NXT. Then Damian Priest being called
Oh, the
up and
rock
coming
star.
to WWE. Yeah, and the rock star, and then there's Damian Priest, the Judgment Day, and then there's Damian Priest, the world heavyweight champion. Now he's from the streets. Again, these are all layers into his character, and I can appreciate that because Edge wasn't Edge when he first came. He was the Edge when he first came, and let's not just forget about Sex and Hardcastle and all that crap too. So I get it. Guys have to find themselves, but it feels like this is like the fourth or fifth different repackage for Damian Priest. So I mean, it does kind of get a little weighing. I would like for him to find himself because they are pushing him. He is going to get another shot at a championship. He will probably be U.S. champion by the end of the year this year, if I had to take a guess. So I mean, they're going to keep putting titles on him. He's going to keep main eventing. He's going to make a lot of money, but they got to make me care about him. That's the same lost his mystique. It's crazy that 2 matches cost him everything. But it's like ever since Gunther lost that mystique, and ever since he lost those matches to Sami Zayn and to Cody Rhodes, it just feels like something different about him. And he lost his mystique. He lost his grand gesture. I really need him to have like a match that makes me care. Like I know everybody wants to see CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, but I really need somebody to really pull Gunther out of this freaking lull that he's in. Like he was dominant, and I don't care about him, and I don't care about Damian Priest. I care about The Rock. I care about Karrion Cross. I would rather Karrion Cross be your World Heavyweight Champion right now than Gunther, which is sad to say because Karrion Cross is not a great wrestler. He's a great WWE superstar, not the best wrestler, but he gives you stuff that you can care about of substance. And I just feel like from Gunther, you're not getting anything. It's like he doesn't care. He's just there to be a sportsman. And it's like, but this is WWE, pal. If you want to do that, go sign with AEW, where you could just wrestle and chop the hell out of people. I mean, but I don't know. I don't care about Damian Priest though, man. I'm kind of getting tired of these these repackages with him. It's getting old.
To me, I don't think it's a repackage. I mean, granted, yes, he's been a Raw for most of his career, other than NXT, correct?
Yeah, he had a short. I know he had a short
Right.
stint on SmackDown a while back, but it wasn't. Yeah, he's been mostly. Well, no. He said he's always been on Raw.
Correct.
But yeah,
So,
he's had some matches on SmackDown. But yeah, he's been primarily on Raw.
so just like you said, us wrestling fans are fickle. We were burnt out with him on Raw with the whole Finn Balor Judgment Day feud. At least this is their way of making sure they don't cross paths for at least a year.
Yeah.
Unless they do the same thing, they transfer them all in the same show. But for right now, this is
Until they end up fighting tomorrow. Until they end up fighting tomorrow in the Rumble.
That's the Rumble. Everyone fights each other.
Yeah.
Come on. I'm going to fight you at the Rumble tomorrow. I'm going to fight your son at the Rumble too. You tell him I am the true World Heavyweight Champion. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I have a feud with Virgil's son because he also has a World Heavyweight Championship, and we're going to prove who is the World Heavyweight Champion.
The real World Heavyweight Champion will be proven
Fritos.
tomorrow. It's okay. Mm-hmm. It's all right. It's all right. But yeah, man, like I said, sorry to go on that long of a rant, but I just, some of these guys I just don't care about. And I think titles could be better well served if they were around the waist of Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre. Like I said, I don't care about Gunther. He wasn't even on the damn Monday Night Raw show. He's the champion of the show, and he was not even on the first Monday Night Raw. A 2.5 hour show, and you couldn't put a Gunther match on there for us to care about? What does that say about him as a champion?
True.
Wasn't on the Netflix, the Netflix debut, and he wasn't even on he wasn't even on the Saturday night's main event when they brought it back. Like
right.
The one,
this is this, but going back to our conversation that we had last week, on the pod. This is why WWE has to start doing brand specific pay-per-views again. They have to at least until the Big Four, because literally Gunther. I don't think Gunther has a World Heavyweight Championship match tomorrow.
No.
Like, I mean, what's he going to do? Sit in the suite?
Probably.
You know, like I said, I get it. I get it. Not expending your champions, and I get it. Allowing them to be able to breathe and to do what they want to do. But the World Heavyweight Championship, this version of it, this iteration of the title is still very new. And he ain't defended that damn thing no times. It's like, dude, like Seth Rollins was everywhere with that belt.
Him and I feel like him and like Rollins and Priest were pretty much the main two that actually defended it more consistently. And when Gunther became champion, it's like, all right. And meanwhile, Cody appearing on both shows like it's nothing, and he having matches. He having like championship matches up the wazoo, like it's crazy. And he beat Gunther.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
For the Crown Jewel title. Like, so it's just like it made you realize that clearly they ain't looking at Gunther like that as the main champion, like the top champion of the company. It's clearly gonna be Cody for the foreseeable future. And so, as it should, but like,
yeah.
But I feel like it's still like at the same time, you're still making Gunther look weak as a champion because you're not putting him in meaningful rivalries and have like legit matches. Now, I'm not saying you put him in a match with no damn Goldberg. I don't want to see that shit ever. But like at least Braun Breaker, somebody like a Braun Breaker, like entice us with something interesting. I would love to see Gunther versus Braun Breaker again, because Braun Breaker is one of the only few people to actually beat him within the last year or so. So like, I would love to see that. Like, give me Gunther versus Braun Breaker, or as I've been wanting, I want to see it. There's a chance we might get it. Gunther and Ela. I want to see him and Dragunov.
That might be the kickoff to get him going.
Yeah,
again.
he's rehabbing, like I said. But yeah, that's somebody that doesn't need the World Heavyweight Championship, though. And I don't think Gunther needs to be the World Heavyweight Champion going into WrestleMania. WrestleMania is the show of shows. Gunther needs to work his way up to being that champion. He built a lot of goodwill and a lot of good faith between 2022, 23, and to 2024. And you just knew it was his time to become World Heavyweight Champion. I just thought Triple H was going to book him better than this. Like, holy shit, dude. Like, this is boring as hell. Like, dude, Gunther's whole title reign has been terrible. It's either been predictable, like you knew Jey Uso wasn't going to beat him for the World Heavyweight Championship at Saturday night's main event.
Yep.
You know, it's just not been good. I don't know.
But before we close out, any thoughts on the main event? See?
No.
Well, actually, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like y'all been saying, that this show was pretty much all filler. You know, so I think it's just something to get the fans something good, happy going into tomorrow's show. I think they probably did one of those packages where you can get the SmackDown show and the pay-per-view. Ordering Indy tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, so they probably had the package joint. Go to SmackDown and then the pay-per-view tomorrow.
Shout out and also shout out to my nephew Alex that is at the Royal Rumble tonight.
Oh, sick invite, Alex.
Oh, or is going to be at the Royal Rumble tomorrow.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
but actually,
before we leave,
since there was hold on. Oh, what I was going to say was, since there was no AEW show last night, you know how we could do this, right? We can go ahead and just let me see if I can help you guys out with something real quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your first time ever. We have a 2-for-1 deal on this episode. Now, changing over to your All Elite recap on Friday night. It is your host, Big Daddy C, aka the Professor of Blue.
Oh, y'all, just a moment here. Yeah, my bad, y'all. It's been a rough week, man. Work has been stressful.
Me too, bud. It's okay. We can hug it out tomorrow.
Let me get this pulled up.
There is no silent mics on this podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Big Daddy C is getting his notes ready.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Virgil is staring at his phone, laptop,
Yes.
looking
My
at
my pregnant wife is texting me.
Oh, I was gonna say looking at Shayna Baszler's Freaky Monday beef stew TikToks, but probably not. He's texting his wife.
Yeah, Shayna. Yeah. Oh, you were talking about me? No, I'm texting my wife. You're ridiculous.
Don't get him started. Oh man.
Oh,
all right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the All Elite Recap Show. I am your host, Big Daddy C. We're gonna get this thing rolling. So starting off the AEW Dynamite from this past week, this past Wednesday, we had pretty decent show. Starting out, we had Will Ospreay versus Brian Cage. We know this whole thing with Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay against the Don Callis family that's been going on for quite some time, and with Will Ospreay being a former member of the Don Callis family, is adding another layer to it. So basically, during this match, Will Ospreay struggled to, pretty much gain his strength throughout this match. Brian Cage has been, a powerhouse for most of his career, and that pretty much reigned supreme in this match. But eventually, Will Ospreay would hit Cage with the Styles Clash to win the match. Afterwards, Don Callis family, they're going to attack. And so that's exactly what happened. And then Kenny Omega would come out, who they attacked early on in the show. And so he came out with a steel chair and pretty much was destroying Cage with the chair. And then here comes Takeshita and Cal Fletcher, right? Yeah, Cal Fletcher. And they pretty much just laid out Kenny and Will Ospreay in this match. So what did you guys think of the match itself and the aftermath?
I thought the match was actually fairly good. And I like the aftermath because you're definitely building up to a tag team with Ospreay. And I am losing it today. I do apologize. Who'd he go against again? Sorry.
It was Will Ospreay versus Brian Cage.
Brian Cage and Kenny Omega. You're definitely building a tag team with them, which is eventually going to lead to someone turning a heel, and then you're getting Ospreay versus whatchamacallit. So it's just a slow build, which is weird to see from Tony Khan. They're using the Don Callis family to catapult this new feud, which I like. But you're going to definitely get some great tag teams in between that till that feud kicks off.
Yeah, I believe the tag team match that we got coming up will be at Grand Slam. See here will be Takeshita and Cal Fletcher against Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. So that'll be coming up. And so after this match here, let's see. After this match, we had Jeff Jarrett versus Claudio Castagnoli. If Jeff Jarrett beats Claudio, he gets a shot at Moxley. And so during this match, Jeff Jarrett, he fought valiantly, but Claudio Castagnoli, he was doing damage throughout the match. Of course, there were going to be distractions from the Death Riders. Most importantly, Wheeler Yuta be the main guy coming out to distract. And so because of this distraction, it allowed John Moxley also came in with a what is the finisher called? It used to be Dirty D's, but paradigm shift. Paradigm shift. So he hit him with paradigm shift DDT, and that allowed Claudio Castagnoli to hit his finisher for the win. And so after the loss, MJF come out. Of course, MJF has his issues, trying to get Jeff Jarrett to be on the side and all this other stuff. And Jeff Jarrett is like, no, I'm good, bro. So MJF comes out and he basically attacks Jeff Jarrett and kisses his diamond ring. And so he's like, basically, he told him, out of respect, I'm not going to tell you, I told you so, but you clearly just attacked this man. So there's no respect to be to be had in this moment. So what did you think of this match in the aftermath?
I mean, it was a great match for Jeff, even though how the outcome was. It was more about the MJF because they're definitely building more up to that feud. And I hope they book it right where Jeff wins and it catapults him for his final run for this year. I know we have a full year, so they're not going to want to burn it out and just throw the title on him immediately. But I honestly do want to see Jeff Jarrett end the career with the AEW championship.
Yeah. One thing I know is in this match.
Pause 1 second. I got to take this off. I don't want to be the Costco guys with their WWE championship, and we have to delete our podcast here for I just completely just realized that looking at it.
Yeah, it's like you got the WWE title. You got the World Heavyweight Championship during the
Sorry, Tony Khan, please don't make us delete this podcast.
It ain't like we're gonna be out here sporting any AEW championship, so
they're like $700. There's no way.
Damn, and they cost more than WWE belts. That's crazy. But no, I thought that with this match, it looked like there was some it was kind of the match itself was kind of off. Like it was feel like it wasn't much rhythm in this match. I just think it's one of the situations where you got someone that's super athletic and call it Claudio Castagnoli, and then you got like an old vet and Jarrett who's more on the technical side. I just feel like it was really not much rhythm in this match because I think this might have been the first time these two faced off, if I'm not mistaken. So clearly there is not much chemistry there. And then after this match, you had another segment with MJF. He's talking that shit, and then he bumps into Hangman Adam Page. They stare at each other. Then that was, I think, Hangman. He had walked into Strickland's room. I don't know who he's looking for, but we'll see what happens with that. Oh, he actually was trying to find Swerve Strickland, but yeah, I guess he couldn't find him. So Renee was interviewing MJF, and this was prior to that match. And so he basically called it like he's like, yeah, he has no shot against Castagnoli, which we saw that ended up happening. And so after this match, we had Ricochet versus AR Fox, who Swerve Strickland went against last week and defeated. So this match was pretty solid. A little, some good high flying maneuvers back and forth. Some good hard hitting maneuvers. So eventually, Ricochet would he threatened to slap. He hit the spirit gun and the vertigo to seal the victory. And then after the match, he tried to stab Fox with the golden scissors, but Swerve would come out there and attack him. But Ricochet would use AR Fox as a shield to try to get away from Swerve. So that's pretty much what happened with that. What are your thoughts on Man, I didn't ask your thoughts on several things. I'm sorry. I'm just out of loop right now.
Good.
What are your thoughts on the the Jeff Jarrett situation and the match, and then also with the Ricochet match and Swerve Strickland situation?
I thought we already talked about Jeff Jarrett. It just
Oh,
be the Ricochet.
Yeah, Ricochet. Yeah, I'm all out.
Honestly, it was my piss break. Ricochet is a fantastic athlete.
Yeah.
But everything from the breakup from WWE going to AEW and just his mic skills, I don't want to hear this man talk. I've said it multiple times. Get this man a manager. I'm tired of his laugh. What he's doing with Swerve, it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah,
it's fairly decent stuff because you're going to definitely get a fantastic match from these two gentlemen. But just right now, I need Ricochet off my TV a bit. I need him off of social media and let whatever heat he has, because the Samantha Irvine stuff, it's still, there's different stuff going around. I just need this man off the TV, let him cool down, then you can build him back up.
Yeah.
But other than that, piss break.
Yeah, I think with this feud, this is at this point it just makes you want the match itself to actually happen. So I'm about ready for that matchup, and so we'll see what happens at Grand Slam. Moving on, we have let's see here. I did notice that there was a moment during this match. Ricochet looked like he was about to hit the people's elbow, but like actually he transitioned it into a moonsault, which I thought was pretty cool. That was my first time seeing that. And so after this, you had a segment with Powerhouse Hobbs, basically delivering a warning to Big Bill, promising to send him to hell when he's cleared to compete. So it looks like he was from his home when he delivered this promo. And then you had the New York Minute, of course, Chris Jericho. He was highlighting his new movie, which is called Dark Match, and then laid out a challenge to the Outrunners. And then the next matchup we have here is Jay White versus Wheeler Yuta. And so this match is pretty solid. Wheeler Yuta he almost broke Jay White's ankle with his vicious attack early on, but Switchblade would eventually connect with the Blade Runner to win this match. And of course, whenever the Death Riders whenever any of their members have a match, someone's going to get jumped after this match. So that's exactly what happened. Basically, he hit Yuta with another Blade Runner after the match. I think he hit him like maybe one or two of them. And then the Death Riders would arrive. Claudio Castagnoli and Mox. Mox didn't really do anything. He basically distracted him while Claudio came up from behind. And then eventually Rated FTR would come and make the save. And so they made out the challenge, for a collision. Got the match. What was the matchup? Yeah, he challenged him to a street fight match on Collision. I forgot the name of the match. But yeah, so he basically so we're gonna get that trip that I don't think it's gonna be a 6-on-6. Mid-South street fight. So we're pretty much gonna get that 3-on-3. So what are your thoughts on that match and the aftermath? And you think this match on Collision is going to be a big time match?
I mean, who's going to be watching Collision when we got the Royal Rumble? Sorry, Tony Khan, not sorry.
Oh yeah,
but...
yeah. Guess we're going to see the highlights on that.
We're definitely have to be watching the highlights on that. Right. But yeah, I like the setup. I mean, I feel like with the Mox stuff. I hate comparing companies. We keep bringing up WWE with AEW. Everyone does, but it feels almost borderline bloodline-ish right now with their story. Eventually, everyone's in the back's going to crash out, and they're just going to go all out against the Death Riders. So I think this is what they're kind of building up to. I can't really tell too much because they're definitely going against up a bunch of different individuals. Yeah. So eventually, we're going to see a Thanos Infinity War Endgame situation here where everyone's going to basically beat the living crap out of Death Rider. So,
but here's my thing. Like, it's really only been Mox, Claudio, and Yuta. Pac is rarely around. Like, I don't even know where Pac has been.
Situations, I believe on X he's upset with AEW.
Oh, I have not noticed.
As it seems to appear like most of the superstars in the back are upset. Almost every week we get a new report. Someone's upset with how everything's working out.
Wow. Okay. Did not know that. So, yeah, because that would explain why he's rarely been on TV. So it's like it doesn't seem like they're that dominant because they don't really have the numbers, really. It's just 3 of them. And then Marina Shafir, she'll attack somebody every now and then. But, like, outside of that, like, they don't really strike me as, like, it would be wild to see, like, an Infinity War situation happen or in-game situation happen where, like, so many, like, people are attacking them because it's like
it's Tony Khan. You never know. He might try to do something crazy to get ratings up the next week.
Yeah, so it's just all I guess everybody that they've, like, screwed over in the past, I can see it. Like, I can see that, even though it's only 3 of them, but we've seen damn near a whole roster team up on Big Show on Monday Night Raw after he turned on them to join SmackDown. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. I do think they need to, like, kind of recruit somebody else, like, definitely like a powerful, like a big, like a Brian Cage type of guy, like, to really add to that, like, to really kind of help make them dominant, because I feel like they don't really have that. So that I think they do need to add another wrestler too. Like, every group has that. They have the 2 guys where, like, they're always there, to, do the dirty work, but they're also they have like a set tag team where, where they can really have the numbers game, So I feel like, they definitely need something like that, especially without Pac being around. They need the numbers, man. So moving on, we had Mariah May basically giving a promo talking about, how she's better than any version of Toni Storm. Toni Storm's not real, and basically saying she'll always be better than her. And so we know that they have a match coming up at Grand Slam for the AEW Women's World Championship. So what did you think of this promo, and what is your prediction for the match between these two?
I don't think they're going to I don't know. To tell you the truth, Tony Khan's booking is sporadic.
Yeah.
If it was Triple H, I could see Mariah keep the title. But since they brought back Timeless Toni Storm again, he may pull the trigger because she's a moneymaker.
Right.
So you don't know. I mean, they could build it up, then take the title off, but I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to the match. I love Timeless Toni Storm. Everyone loved this character.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to the match. I just don't know the outcome. I'm your booker of the year, but Tony's the wild card here.
Yeah. So yeah, after this, we had a vignette or promo, whatever you want to call it, basically highlighting the Guns' road to recovery. They've been out for a minute. So it'd be nice to see them make their return at some point. And so the Hurt Syndicate had an interview after their big AEW Tag Team Championship win. and they promise to accept any challenge from any challenger. So we'll be curious to see what happens. It might be another rematch between them and what was the tag team they just beat? The Private Party.
Yep.
So yeah, so I definitely see a rematch in the future between those two teams. And that brings us to our next matchup, which is the main event. We had let's see here. We had Mercedes Moné versus Yuka Sakazaki. So this is a pretty tough matchup between the two. Mercedes Moné definitely had a fight on her hands. And so back and forth with this match. Sakazaki would attempt to hit her magical girl splash on Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné will get her knees up. And then she will follow that up with the moneymaker for the victory. So basically, during this match, I feel like the crowd was pretty much engaged in this match. This was I felt like there wasn't really much of a build for this match for it to be a main event. So, but it's nice to see the women getting some shine in a main event on AEW. So what did you think of this match, coach? Not coach, Fritos. I'm so used to doing this spot, the AEW with coach. But yeah, so what did you think of this?
Timeout. Sorry, getting interrupted. We have another special guest. Oh, come here.
The dog.
The dog, Kelsey.
Hey.
Oh, my video game partner. Oh, thank you, Brad Sneaks. But yeah, I love how AEW does get the shine to women. They've got a great, diverse women's division. Mm-hmm. It's really, I think, honestly, the best women's division throughout all of the wrestling businesses. I'm over Mercedes Moné. I'm over this character, but the match that they put on was spectacular.
Yeah, so yeah, I agree. I'm over her. I'm over her as well.
I just don't know what it is. There's a different aura vibe. We've all talked about like how earlier on my show, Virgil was talking about Gunther. It's the same thing. It's just something different.
I think the fact that they need to have a better. I think after the Chris Statlander feud, I think it's kind of died off for her. So I feel like they need another big challenger for her. Got Thunder Rosa still out there. She's always been a premier superstar in the women's division for AEW. She's held some championships in the past. You got Jamie Hayter, Julia Hart, Deonna Purrazzo. So there's some names out there that could really provide a challenge. I wouldn't mind seeing my girl Willow Nightingale back in the mix. So I think there's some challenges out there that can get at Mercedes Moné. Just a matter of Tony Khan getting the right book in the storyline. Going for that. So we will see what happens in the near future in regards to that. So that has been our AEW recap show, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for all who was tuning in, who will tune in once this gets uploaded to YouTube. Like I said, as always, your host Big Daddy C. Got a Booker of the Year, Freaky Fritos. Thanks for joining in for the pod. And so continue to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. We're on YouTube. We're also on Spotify and Apple Music. We're still working, getting it all resolved. Facebook, IG, follow our TikTok page. In my opinion, Mike Jones on TikTok. Also got a new page on TikTok called the We Book It Boys Network. Basically, just using that to create wrestling related skits, memes, etc. Got any ideas for content you want to drop? Let us know. So I'll be just coming up with stuff, not just me, but also the other fellas as well with content. We'll just be dropping it on that page. So continue to support and spread the word. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you all again for the support. Keep supporting. We'll catch y'all on. Are we gonna do a impromptu reaction Saturday night, or are we gonna
I
wait?
don't believe so. I believe we are just going to do our regular Sunday pod.
Okay. So yeah, we'll react on Sunday to the pay-per-view. And pretty much go from there. So catch us on Sunday night around about 8:30. And so catch you guys in. Peace.